Now let's talk about the domain of a function, which we might need to think about, and that is the defined set of inputs for the function. This is all the different inputs that we're going to think about for the function that we are interested in. So sometimes the domain is defined through convenience only, just because we're only interested in a certain subset of inputs, but sometimes it's necessary to get valid outputs. So you might need to think about that. So for instance, for example, you can't divide by 0. Or you can't have square root of a negative number. So things like that, you might have to define the inputs that you're allowed to use for the function to be valid. And this is how you write it. So for example, we could say the function of x is x plus 1 for example, on the last example we did, that was between -5 and 10, so x is equal to or greater than -5 and equal to or less than 10, something like that. Or we could just choose the few points that we're interested in, so x equals 1 or 2 or 3. Or you could say f of x is x plus 1, and you could just say you don't want x to be 0, for instance. Don't know why you'd want to do that in this example, but that's the kind of thing you might want to do. And if nothing is stated, we just assume it's all the real numbers. All the real numbers. So let me just draw out these two for you to show what they'd look like. So here we've got our input, which is x. Here we've got our output, which is x plus 1. And if you remember, we went from 10. Our input is 10. Our output is 11. So this is our highest value we're getting. And our lowest value is -5, which gives us an output of -4. So that is, -5, which gives us an output of -4, which is about here. So these are the two ends of what we're interested in, but also that doesn't go through 0, does it? All the values in between. So here's our what we're interested in here. So that's the fx here. And then if we just had 1, 2, 3, so here are our 3 inputs that we're interested in. So this is our x, this is our x plus 1 output. So 1 gives us 2, 2 gives us 3, so it's little dots here, and 3 gives us 4. And so that's what it would look like in that case.